Welcome to yet another, albeit been a long time since the last one, battle report for Bromance Wargaming. Today we have an interesting battle which the High Elves are sure to lose. Matt, why don't you go ahead and take us through your deployment as the Goblins.
All right, we have a battle for the pass right here. Actually,
We do?
Yeah, no,
Battle
you're
line.
Right. Battle line.
I wish it was battle for the pass.
Yeah, I think actually your army would be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and go through deployment, but I'll say first that I think I made a good move by putting my Doom Diver and my Rock Lobber down first on the hills because we knew they were going to go there anyway.
Yes.
And it kind of forced the Eagles to split up and devote themselves to doing that rather than stopping my horde. The Wog. All right, so here we go. So we got the Doom Diver, custom Doom Diver, shooting a Goblin out the front. Nice. I don't know if we ever got a picture of that.
It's beautiful.
Well, it's ugly, but it works. These are my Wolf Riders that I air quote forgot to Vanguard. Really, the truth is I didn't want to Vanguard these. They're going to play blocking against the Eagles.
Okay.
Got 6 trolls. My dead Trollet Society. They all have poet names.
Nice.
Like Edgar Allan Troll and that kind of stuff. Henry David Troll Row. Anyway, we have 20 goblins. Pay no attention to the night goblins in the front. Those are actually real goblins. I haven't painted my goblins, as you can see. They have full command. That's my BSB, Night Goblin BSB. That's my Orc Big Boss General. This right here is my Night Goblin Shaman. He has, ooh, I forget his spells. He has Sneaky Stabbing.
He has 3, 4, and 6.
Yeah. He has Itchy Nuisance, which is good. Gork will fix it, which is good. And the Curse of the Bad Moon. So he's got to actually get up and start throwing vortices around. We have 60 Night Goblins with spears and full command. Actually, they don't have full command. They just have a standard and a musician. I forgot that I don't actually have a champion.
Still looks painful.
Yes, there's... And then we have 23 Squigs and 10 Handlers. 2 Wolf Chariots that deployed back away from out of shooting of Jody's archers, which...
I don't know why you do that.
Well, you know. And then another unit of Wolf Riders who forgot to Vanguard, and my Rock Lava, which probably my favorite model in this army is the chained dwarf holding the rock.
They are pretty boss.
And actually, let me go ahead and go over the terrain real quick.
Oh, it's a very boring terrain because
Yes.
Matt rolls nothing but
Yes.
3s. And
so these hills, I rolled for and got a 3 on both of them, so they're normal. This is a wall, again, completely normal.
yes.
It's hardcover, and -1 to hit if you're defending it.
Okay.
I should say your opponent gets a -1 to hit you if you're defending it. The river is mysterious. The river lake thing there is mysterious. The wood is still mysterious, and this is a boring house because yes, I did in fact roll for that too.
That's okay. That's where my Eagle's going.
Good job. All right, Jody, you want to go over your deployment real quick?
Yes, I have an Eagle.
His job is to kill
another Eagle. Yes, their jobs are supposed to be to get into and kill the stupid things. And yeah, I'm rethinking that now. We have 22 Spearmen, full command with Noble BSB in them.
Techless.
Yes, Techless is the BSB. We have 30 Sword Masters trying to be fun.
I wonder who I'm going to aim my artillery at.
Then we got level 4 behind them. And of course, the level 4 has to be my general. Then we got 21 archers with a level 2, and they have a standard. So very few drops for me.
Actually, you're up 300 points, aren't you?
Yes.
So you're 1,800
versus
and I'm at
1,500. But only a few drops. I'm just kind of trying to have some fun. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get wrecked in the face and stomped on multiple times by his horde of 60. But, maybe he'll get unlucky and destroy his own artillery. And that being said, we'll come back at the end of turn 1, which of course Matt got for me because I rolled a 5 plus 1 makes 6, and he rolled a 6, and then he rolled another 6. And like a boss.
And I just pointed out, Jody, that I do in fact have line of sight to your wizard from my Doom Diver.
Okay, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of turn 1, when everything flees off the board because I failed my leadership test, we'll come back and shape. We already shook good game.
No, we didn't shake the game yet. Can you get it? Are we in the fair?
We are.
All right, good game.
Good game. We'll come back and let you know the end result after turn 1 when Matt miraculously defeats me in 1 turn. Later, guys. Well, end of Goblin turn 1. Matt, go ahead and recap. Not much, but a little productive.
Well, it wasn't terrible. No animosity. Great.
Yes.
The chariots moved up their full. These guys moved up about 6 inches. The goblins moved out a little bit ahead. The trolls shuffled up really quickly. My general's unit kept everybody within 12 inches of the BSB and himself. The wolves didn't move. These war machines fired in the magic phase. I found out he has the Anulian crystal, and he channeled, and I rolled a 2 and a 1, so I had 2 dice. He had 4 dispel dice. That meant that I was out of range with my guy, so I just kind of quit the magic phase. Shooting made up for it though. I dead shotted the Doom Diver on his general, who has Polaris robes, but that was worth it, and I only rolled a 1 for the number of hits, so it wasn't like I wasted a huge number of hits. And then I dead shotted the Rock Lava in the middle there and killed 7, which
8.
Yes, 8. 7 plus a guy under the hole, which I thought was a pretty good first turn for shooting.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to Jody's first turn and see what he can do with his small little army there.
This is true. All right, end of Jody's turn 1. Same thing, not very productive. Shift my eagles into the middle of the battlefield to run some blocks against like the chariot and see if I can't get that guy either into that next round or, again, run some flanks or interference with him. On a really stupid move my spearmen up, and the reason it's stupid is because when I went to cast magic, I got thrown a vines off and I had 6 dice left, and instead of deciding to do the smart thing, catch flesh of stone, making them toughness 7, hopefully for double 6s, I decided to split it and cast regrowth on my swordmasters, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but seeing that unit's about to get double charged and absolutely wrecked next turn, that's where my bad news bears, stupid hindsight mistake comes into play. So we'll come back with you at the end of 2. Oh, I killed the chariot with my archers. We'll come back at the end of 2 after my spearmen are gone and my swordmasters probably flee because the BSB's in there. Later. All right, Matt. How are you winning the game now?
Well, I charged with almost everything. The only person to fail animosity was my general's unit. So I declared the charge first with the gray eagle over here, with the general, and he held against the general, right? Mm-hmm. And then I charged these 5 wolf riders at him, and he fled. So he fled this way.
Yes.
My next charge was into the flank of his spearmen, which had his BSB and his general.
Yes. Into
the flank with these squigs. They needed a 6, so he fled, which put him behind this eagle, about where the eagle is at right now.
9 inches. He rolled 10 on the flea.
Yes.
I rolled 10 on the flea, which put me 9 inches from the board.
And then I charged the eagle with the trolls to get it out of the way of these guys. Yes. The trolls charged them to make them keep fleeing, and Jody rolled a 10.
Again.
Which put them off the board edge.
Now, in hindsight...
Yes, yeah, hindsight being what it is, I'll get to that in a second. I charged the swordmasters with the goblins just because I was like, Jody's having a bad day, let's let him kill some toughness 3 little buggers. The chariot charged this eagle, which fled. The swordmasters passed that panic test. And actually my only mistake this phase was I didn't test to redirect these guys, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. And these guys charged that eagle as well. No, they actually moved.
They just moved. They was like, nah, we're gonna move.
So everybody, what I was talking about what Jody was talking about the hindsight is, they rolled a 1 and 1 and a 2, so they wouldn't have completed against the eagle. They rolled a 1 and a 2, so they wouldn't have completed against anybody. They rolled a 1 and a 1, so they wouldn't have completed against the eagle. These guys rolled a 1 and a 1, so they wouldn't have completed against anybody. These guys rolled like a... I think they actually would have. I think they rolled a 7. Yeah. I think they actually were the only ones that would have completed. And my chariot over here rolled like 4 inches. So nobody would have completed anyway.
Yep.
And everything ran off the board. So things are looking kind of scary for Jody. In Magic, I threw 3. It was 5 and 5 split because of the crystal. I threw 3 dice plus a mushroom on Gork'll Fix It on the Swordmasters, and he dispelled it. And then I threw 2 dice plus a mushroom at Itchy Nuisance on the Swordmasters, and I rolled a 1 on the mushroom dice, so it failed to cast. And then in shooting, the rock from the rock lobber drifted off, but I killed 4 with the Doom Diver.
Yes, yes, you did.
So we're getting ready for Funky Town Go
Swordmaster. Not doing a ton, but trying to wreck time.
Yeah, pretty much it's just going to be all of my units versus the Swordmasters.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. Jody tells me I'm almost 1,000 points up anyway.
Well, yeah, I got my Archmage, my BSB, and half my core.
Yeah.
It's
so
maybe it's not 1,000, but it's something like 800.
Yeah. It's so I'm up. I'm up in points right now.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And we'll get back to you at the end of Jody's turn too. But I have a feeling he's going to make this a closer game than he thinks right now.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yep.
Okay.
Jody here.
All right. For Jody's bottom of 2, you know, it's pretty much a done deal here. So we'll see what happens. Shot a crap ton at the chariot. Did 1 wound this time instead of wiping it out, so that was unproductive. Cast Shield of Staffrey on my Swordmasters, and he dispelled it easily. I rolled 3 for Winds of Magic, and he channeled, so it was 3v3. Both Eagles rallied. My Swordmasters needed to do 23 wounds to the squigs to kill all the squigs outright, so that he didn't blow up. He did blow up, but it's okay because I didn't get any damage done from them, luckily. Double 1s, yay! First thing to go well all day. Then I overran into his horde, and the Chariot's got a nice little flank. So this is going to be very bad for my Swordmasters, I think, next turn. On the bright side, now only my archers can feel the pain of his war machines as opposed to my Swordmasters. So the Swordmasters will in fact live at least 1 more turn, which means I'll make it to turn 4, unlike the expectation of turn 3. So we'll get back with you guys. All right, sir. What we got going on?
Well, in combat, in my turn, I forgot to move the wolves, which is okay. I turned the trolls around. I dropped these guys out of the unit and put them over here, and forming a unit on their own. Moved these guys up to threaten the Swordmasters if they reformed like they did. In Magic, I rolled a 2 and a 1 again, so Jody had 4 dice and I had 2, so I didn't get Itchy Nuisance off. He killed the Chariot that only did 2 impact hits and killed 2, luckily. At least I was saved the ignominy of doing no wounds with an impact hit. And then he did like 11 wounds to the front, and so I stuck on my Leadership 9, and here I am. And he reformed, and now we're looking at Jody's turn 3.
All right, see what happens. All right, bottom of 3. Forgot to move my Eagle. Magic. Nothing happened because he dispelled scrolled my Fury of Cain against that unit, which is a lot of points. Well, you know, comparatively. On sheer dumb luck, my archers got 5 6s through, and his poor rock lobber decided that that was too much to handle.
You killed a dwarf when you killed that rock lobber. I just want to point out that you killed a dwarf. There was a dwarf slave there.
That's why I killed it, because elves hate the dwarves.
Oh. Don't tell your dwarf army. You're budding dwarf army.
I'm trying to get them to be friends. Then in that combat, of course, I wrecked them, but it didn't matter because all the extra ranks. Reformed to prevent him from doing quite as much damage on the dual charge, because now if he wants both units in, he won't get as many trolls in, and that's better for me. But, you know, he'll probably just still rock him with the trolls, which is fine, but, you know, it's going to be turn 4, and that's when I said I would survive till, so looks like it's going to be true. Later. Alright, we have a victory to the Goblins. It's not just a victory, it's a table. High Elves got utterly wrecked. Swordmasters got destroyed towards the end.
Yeah, we should mention that we skipped
a bunch of turns. We didn't really think it mattered at this point.
Also, your phone was...
Yeah, my phone's about to die.
Yeah.
Swordmasters did some more damage, and then got...
They broke in combat when the trolls came in the flank.
Yeah.
The trolls helped break them, and they fled. And then on my turn...
They fled back here.
Yeah,
they
rallied.
Then rallied.
And then on my turn, I charged them in the flank.
And
They would have been in the flank with the troll.
Yes.
I guess it would have been the front.
They would have been in front with the trolls.
But you fled with the trolls.
They fled over here.
And I charged with those wolf riders who were facing the other way at the time.
And they fled all the way back over there because I can't roll lower than a 10 on a flea.
And so the trolls really had an easy time catching them. So they caught them. That eagle has fled and rallied all game.
Yes.
And in my turn 5, I double charged with the remainders of the night goblins and the wolf riders into the...
Yep. And was able to net me.
Yep. And he did like 5 wounds, but I did 4 wounds plus the
rear charge.
The rear charge and ranks and stuff. And so I beat him by 2, and he fled and ran away. But then on his turn 5, he didn't rally them. So we went ahead and called it because the eagle is going to either die or run off the board.
I mean, at this point, I was just trying to save the piddly 400 points I had left on the board in hopes of getting rid of some of his points so I didn't get massacred. But I think it was once my general's unit ran off the board, I think a massacre was just inevitable.
Let me find my army list and I tell you how many points I still have on the board. I've got 100 from the wolf riders. I got 80 from the doom diver. 210 from the trolls. 140 from this unit of goblins. 245 from this unit of goblins. And then just over 300 points in characters.
Yeah, so you had plenty.
So I have,
all right, let's, Matt, best and worst.
Best unit, honestly, the trolls. It's hard. It's actually a toss-up. The night goblins did okay. They held the swordmasters up and let me get everything where I wanted it. They held up for 3 rounds of combat and let me get the trolls in position for the flank charge. Since I positioned them kind of poorly anyway. Well, I guess it was they chased off the general's unit, but it let me get them back into position after that. But the trolls did all the real heavy lifting. The night goblins just stood there and threw nets and then died. My magic phase was terrible, so probably my wizard was my least valuable. I think the only thing that ever happened was the turn I broke the swordmasters, I got the itchy nuisance off and reduced them to like initiative 1 or 0.
Yeah.
And which helped, but I still did so many wounds to them that it probably...
The only thing it probably would have made a difference on is this battle at the end over here.
Yeah. And that, I didn't get it off.
Yeah.
Jody kept consistently getting as many dice or more of me to dispel, so probably magic was my weakest. I think I'm gonna actually try running mostly level 2s. I find that I generally throw a bunch of dice at one spell rather than several dice at smaller spells. I'm a little too cautious, and so I think I'm just going to start running like level 2s because the +2 rarely makes a difference in my style of play. Jody, what do you got? Who's your MVP?
My MVP,
one?
probably going to be my Swordmasters just because the damage they did do, even though they got butchered at the end. My LVP is going to be myself, because putting the Spearman with the Archmage into a triple charge, I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking Flesh to Stone, but if I was thinking that, I should have thrown 6 dice of Flesh to Stone instead of 3 dice at Regrowth.
Right.
And that was just, again, I made a mistake and it cost me the game scenario. It didn't help that I rolled 20 inches on 2 fleas.
Yeah, that you fled all the way off the board.
Yeah. That didn't help, but, I mean, you can't... What are you going to do? Dice rolls are dice rolls. You have to try to calculate stuff so that you aren't affected by bad dice. And I did a really poor job of that. Actually, I take that back. My MVP is my archers for getting rid of the rock lobber. When I'm hitting on 7s, wounding on 6s, and I get 5 wounds through on 19 shots, I think that's a win.
Yep.
So they're my...
that Archmage with the Anulian Crystal was kind of a...
It was a level 2?
Jerk, too. Yeah,
level 2 with the Anulian Crystal, who survived the entire game. The Archmage with the Philareth Robe and the Talisman of Sapphire, who I put him in a unit because I'm stupid, did not help me at all. So my thought behind it was I put him in the corner, less attacks going into the unit potentially. But yeah, whatever. I've made so many mistakes recently in Warhammer that I think I'm gonna take a nice long break from the game of about 2 hours, and then probably want to play again. I think the thing that frustrates me most is the fact that I had 1,800 points against 1,500 points, and I got tabled. That makes things very unpleasant. So all that, this post will go up soon, and we'll get going on turn 12, I believe.